Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be reviewing the new BMW X6 M. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the BMW of Pleasant Grove, Utah for giving me some time with this X6 M. I'm going to include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. And if you don't already know, the BMW Pleasant Grove does not charge any sort of markups on their cars, so if you want a great deal on a BMW, reach out to them. If you have any questions, just ask to work with Brian and Joe. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Powering this is a twin-turbo 4.4-liter V8 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 13 around town and then 18 on the highway, with power outputs being a whopping 617 horsepower and then 553 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we go over the front end, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, the body lines really pop out with this matte paint, and of course got the BMW logo front and center. Now coming down below, we've got the new headlights, which have a crazy look in person. If you have a chance to look at these while on in person, it's actually really cool. And then down below, you guys can see this is all blacked out here. We have our X6 M badge, and then notice how it's all blacked out down the rest of the center. And putting it all together, let me know what you guys think about the new front end of the X6. Now coming around the side here, tire wheel setup is 295, 35, 21 in the front, and then 315, 30, 22 in the rear, so it's a fully staggered setup with the X6 M. And when it comes to the wheel design, I am a huge fan. I like lots of spokes, and with the brake caliper painted black, it just matches the theme of this car. So you guys can see the fender flare has been body painted, and then look at this on the side with the M colors and little M logo at the end. And then you guys can see the mirror caps are blacked out. All the window trim has been blacked out as well. And then here's your full side view with the X6, and this is where you can see the coupe design. Now here's a quick look at our key fob. You guys can see we've got our lock function and obviously remote start functions built into that as well. We have our unlock and then the opening for the hatch. And speaking of hatch, we have a cargo cover built in from the factory that actually says X6 on it, which is pretty cool. Now with the X6, you do lose a bit of vertical space compared to the X5, which is obviously like the SUV version of this SUV. Hopefully that makes sense, but it's the price you pay for the coupe design. Anyways, when you're all done, just press this and that'll lower the hatch right back down. And speaking of coupe design, you guys can see the spoiler here in the back, and then look at the BMW logo, and then the X6 M Competition badge, and then these taillights. Pretty crazy how they wrap around, but the thing that's really crazy is the exhaust tips here and the diffuser, but especially those exhaust tips. And putting it all together, let me know what you guys think about the new style here on the X6. Now taking a look at the door panel here in the rear, we've got a sunshade for the rear passengers, and then look at all of the leather trim throughout. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. We've got carbon fiber here, and then you can see the speaker for the sound system. Bowers and Wilkins, by the way. But yeah, this is cool with the grab handle. I think that's fun. And then here are the seats. You guys can see really nice leather perforated all down the center portion. And then the seatbelts actually have the M colors on them. Now legroom back here is actually really solid. We have a little storage pocket there, and then you guys can see some USB action. And then we do have our own climate zone here in the rear, as well as heated seats, and by the way, it's dual zone here in the back, which is really cool. And we do have a whole cup holder, armrest, center console set up here that apparently I don't know how to open up the cup holders, but there they are. And then last but not least, headroom's good. Now taking a look at the front door panel, it's identical to the rear with the overall design, even with this grab handle right here. Got all of your window controls behind the handle, which is interesting, and then your mirror adjustment. The mirrors do power fold in. You've got memory seats. You also have massaging seats with this, and then you got the opening there for the hatch. And then the mirrors do have blind spot monitoring. Got X6M at the top of the seat, and then look at the design down the center. And then we've got a bunch of adjustments here on the side. You can even adjust the bolsters, and then X6M Competition right there. Got the pedals here, which are really nice. You got the light controls on the side, and then I like the look of the vent right there. Steering wheel is power adjustable. So starting with the steering wheel, we've got really nice leather trim all around. We have the M colors there in the center of the steering wheel, and then the M logo down below. Carbon fiber paddle shifters here on the back, or at least the face of them is carbon fiber. We of course have our M2 and M1 modes, and then our practical controls here in the steering wheel, like this side's cruise control, for example. But overall, really cool look. And then you got the regular stocks there on the back. So here is our digital gauge cluster, and you guys can see we have a little virtual reality type situation in the gauge cluster. I mean, I don't know, I think it's pretty cool. Anyways, I like the overall design here. Sorry about the glare in this shot, by the way, but it's cool. It shows like the speed. It goes up to 200 miles an hour with the speedometer, by the way, and then you got the RPMs. But we do have some different views. So that's in the road mode. If I pop it over to sport mode, it actually kind of changes the overall design. As you can see, they're all very interesting looking. BMW is going for some unique stuff. Now, track mode also has kind of its own unique animation and everything. So let me know which mode you like the most. Now in reverse, we do have a backup camera with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel. And this also does have a 360 camera system. Resolution on it is fantastic. Also, would you look at that? We got our backup assistant. That's pretty cool. Now, as for the rest of the infotainment screen, we do have a shortcut bar here on the side, and I've actually had quite a bit of time to live with this new BMW infotainment system. I just had an XM the other week that has the same system, and I'm actually a big fan of it. It responds really well, it's easy to use. I like how you've got like a little shortcut button for every little item. I know it can be overwhelming to some people, but overall, it's a really good system, and it's frankly easy to use, and I like that the climate menu is always accessible. And then we've got really nice leather trim all over the dash, and then more carbon fiber. And then I like how this goes to the M logo right there. You can see the vents here in the center, and they got a little volume control down below. And of course we have more carbon fiber in this area. Oh, phone charger there, you've got your cup holders, they are heated and cooled. And then here is our center console area. So this is the little dial control for the infotainment system if you don't want to use the touchscreen functionality on it. Got hill descent control, parking brake, auto hold. This is for the exhaust to make it louder or quieter. You've got your M mode. And then you guys can see here with the other settings like stability control, auto stop start. And then obviously the M shifter here with the cool stitching there on the side. And then you do have the adjustments for the shift points to make it more or less aggressive with the transmission. And then behind this we got a center console, which is really spacious. But yeah, look at that look. Oh, and while we're on storage, there is your glove box, and then up top we do have a panoramic sunroof here, and then a very nice premium headliner. So here's our window sticker for the X6 M Competition. This starts at $127,200, and this one has quite a few options added to it. Total MSRP is $144,760, which makes this like $20,000 less than the XM. Anyways, let's see how it drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility over the hood, and hopefully you guys can see the heads-up display. Both the mirrors, which do blind spot monitoring throughout the rest of the rear. And X6M Competition away. This is going to be an exciting review, that is for sure. We've got tons of horsepower, and we got pretty cool looks with this particular one. Now, this is kind of the normal backwards review life of Ben Hardy, because this is my first 24 X6 review, and of course it's with the top line bad boy M version, M Competition at that. So I will be reviewing the other packages on the X6, like, you know, the, M50 version and, the 40i, all that kind of stuff. So just stay tuned for those reviews as well. But I guess we're gonna start at the top and then go down from here. I will say, just like all other M cars, it has a tight, aggressive feel to it with the steering, with the suspension. And I actually just came off of reviewing an XM for a week. I had it as a tester, and the thing that I am noticing right off the bat is this drives so similar to the XM. Obviously this doesn't have the plug-in hybrid element, but it's got the same engine and it's got pretty similar power outputs to the XM. And so I think I might have a hot take on the XM at the end of this particular review. But aside from that, seats are really comfortable. It's got the massage function, which is always a nice feature to have. And I just understand with these competition cars, you can daily drive them, but this is more about like sports SUV type stuff. So it is going to be, a bit harsher with the suspension. And it's not in a bad way. I shouldn't say harsher, I should say firmer. Because when you go over bumps and everything, it stays nice and planted. Like it does a really good job with that. It's just, it's firm. We've got it in the sport mode here. Yeah, it's quick. Monstrously quick. I love the acceleration you get with M cars. And over the bump there, again, the suspension, like you just you just stay nice and planted. They've done a really good job with the damping. I guess we'll get kind of another. Okay, so we're gonna pop it back into the road mode here so that I can sum things up here and give my hot take on the XM with this. I'm not sure what's beeping at me, but anyways, here's the deal. With the X6, I think that the beeping's getting annoying. With the X6, I think that it looks really cool on the outside. Again, I'm more of an SUV style type guy, but I do really appreciate the style on this. And then interior wise, BMW's done a really good job with their modern interiors. I like the new screen layout. Fit and finish is fantastic. The only thing that I could critique BMW for is, you know, some of the competition, they are stepping up their game with switchgear. So like the stalks here on the back and a lot of the controls, they're all just plastic buttons in the BMW. Some of the competition, like Mercedes, for example, they're doing nicer touch points with those. So I do think that's something that BMW could change. That's a cool color, by the way. I think it's something they could change. And then my hot take with this in the XM, I think you should just buy this over the XM. I do like the hybrid side of things with the XM, but like this is literally $20,000 less expensive than an XM. And the driving experience and performance is pretty much identical. Like it feels like the same car. Different styling on the outside, obviously, but it feels like the same car. And so like, this is basically an XM minus the hybrid for like a $20,000 discount is how I see it. Let me know what you guys think about the new X6M.